Chat group chat. We got the whole gang here. You have myself, Connor Reynolds. Below me, we have JP Fasone. JP, how you doing, sir?
Good. Glad to be doing this. It's just always exciting to see your beautiful faces and talk about baseball.
What a darling. What a darling. And then to my side, we have another Connor. Spelled it wrong, but Connor Burns. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic. Just peachy.
Beautiful, beautiful. Have you ever had that like conversation with anybody about like the spelling of the name?
Yeah, because it's the ER, OR, and then there's also one N.
All right, we can ignore the one ends. They're kind of wild. I also played with a kid that was Konor, and we're not even going to acknowledge that. My defense, it's Con-er, not Con-or. Basic literature would say that ER makes the sound, OR makes the or sound. So I'm Con-er, we have Con-or next to me. But Con-or, new location from what I've been seeing on the Twitter and Instagram.
New location. We got the go ahead to open up last Friday. Absolute debacle. We were supposed to open up on a Tuesday night, and then it was supposed to be Wednesday and Thursday. Pretty much there was a certain form that was supposed to be sent into the city for us to get the business license, and the contracting company just like they just lost it. So we literally were waiting on that. So like we were fucking scrambling for a couple days. So that was stupid, but finally got her open. Call it a soft opening. On Friday we did bullpens and like half the turf was still getting glued down.
Saw that.
And then on Saturday, Sunday, we were allowed to run full. And then actually today, our like last kind of section beyond our field house, we just glued down like a rubber flooring, like gym flooring, and it's been great. Kind of pretty much moved in. I ordered a new desk, so just gotta wait for that to get in, then set up my office, and then it's been awesome. Turns out having 3 cages instead of 1 is just the best thing in the fucking world. Having your own field house is just the best thing in the fucking world. You can do so much shit. I can just actually program so much more stuff. Biggest thing is I can just do so much more actual machine work. I don't have to tell people, hey, you can't hit right now. This guy needs to hit. And you just say, hey, there's 3 cages. You guys can all hit. I'll hit for as long as you want. Who gives a fuck? So it's been unbelievable week.
That's awesome. What kind of machine setups we got rocking?
Man, I gotta experiment a little bit, but I got one big hack, two junior hacks. So pretty good setup. I gotta get a longer extension cord for one of them because there's just not a plug-in kind of close to it. So that kind of stuff. But
good issues.
Yeah, no, two junior hacks. Yeah, two junior hacks, one big hack. It's been great. Like yesterday with our junior academy, had set up kind of like BP fastball, curveballs on the one, and then I had smash factors going kind of high velo on the other one, and then just rotating through different environments. So it's nice. It's nice to be able to fucking do shit that I actually like really want to do. So it's been great.
So much room for activities.
So much room for activities.
No power drills though. That's awesome. That's awesome. You guys posted the photo or the video where like you were looking to the left, guys were hitting, and you just slowly pan to the right, and dudes are still putting turf down.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Now, What did you?
No.
Where did you order your desk from? Is there Amazon in Canada?
The fuck kind of question is that, man?
I don't fucking know, man.
It's actually called Amazon, eh?
It's a freaking international company, man. Yeah, you got Amazon. Jesus Christ.
I don't
know. You're an idiot. Grow up. There's Amazon. It's Amazon.ca up here because our little .ca.
So you don't have Amazon. You have Canadian Amazon.
Big difference.
I also I got US Amazon too. It just takes longer to ship, but it has more stuff. So
No 2-day shipping, eh?
It's got more stuff.
you guys are fucked. Yeah, you guys are fucked. I didn't even order the desk from Amazon either. I don't even know what website I ordered. Yeah. Shut up.
What kind of desk did you get? Did you get an L desk?
Yeah, I got it's like my brother has his own office, and then me and Ethan, our pitching guy. It's our office is kind of like office, and then also on the side it's a little kitchen area, so a little bit of a staff room.
Nice.
Yeah, we got 2 L desks, so they're gonna kind of like attach like that, and then got a TV in there. We're gonna get a couch in there and kind of do it up. So yeah, pretty excited to set that up.
If I had any words of advice, I would definitely say, did you guys already get your TV?
Yeah, it's already wall mounted.
Well, does it have AirPlay capability?
Yep.
Okay, that's like by far my number one thing now looking at TVs for their like facility and stuff is does it have AirPlay? Like that's for me massive, especially doing assessments. You have a kid come in,
Yeah, oh yeah.
sit down, throw that shit on up there. Other thing, if you want to be really cool, which I mean, obviously I'm the
I
coolest.
do like being cool.
So
being cool.
get Wi-Fi plugs for your extension cords for your machine, so that way you can turn them on and off wirelessly.
That's a thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So when I was at my last place, I had like configured an old it was called it was like a bounce soft toss thing, so it would hold 12 baseballs, and then there was this arm that would like just rotate and had an opening here and an opening here, and it would pick up the ball, and then there was a bounce pad that it was attached to that would essentially bounce it, and then you would do soft toss. I reconstructed it to where it would actually feed into my machine. And so I had the feeder on a Wi-Fi plug, and then I also had the machine on a Wi-Fi plug. So that way, anything I wanted to do, I just turn it on via the phone or whatever you want, and then you can turn on. I mean, I don't know if you guys are looking to get like a barrel feeder or anything like that, but then everything's just automatic. And I'll tell you, it is a really cool feeling.
Yeah, that sounds like a super cool thing to have. So,
it was really cool to see when I came out. It was just like, yeah, run everything on this iPad. I'm like, what?
It's pretty nice. JP, I saw that you guys were running. Speaking of multiple machines, I saw you guys had a couple going today, up in the Washington of Seattle. Walk us through a little bit of that.
Yeah, yeah, we like to mix it up, especially for the pro guys. And yeah, our interns are, when interns kind of first start, a little intimidated. I think you're a little kind of like nervous to coach. You don't really know the athletes. You don't know the lingo. Like it's drive line. It's got kind of like an air to it, I guess, and so people are a little bit intimidated. But our interns are starting to get a lot more confident, and kind of just telling the pro group like, "Hey, if you're not good enough, then you're not good enough." And I love it. So Dylan, one of our interns, I come out and he's got the double mini X set up, and he's got just the firmest fastball and the grossest slider set up with these two things. He was like, "Yeah, we're gonna go alternating left-handed fastball slider today." And I was like, pretty high spin rate, like pretty challenging. He's like, yeah, these guys just keep asking for fastballs. So I said, okay, you can hit a fastball, but you have to hit this slider too. And so he had that rocking, but it's yeah, it was great. It was good for guys, because I think the challenge we always run into is how do we manage the time and the resources we have to kind of generate individualized environments that are specific to those athletes. And so, especially in the pro group, we got guys working on a handful of different things. So, kind of setting it up like that was good, where we could have guys that really need to see a lot of horizontal movement get in there and hit that. And then guys that were looking to kind of flatten out their bat path a little bit, kind of hit the fastball And then some guys are kind of alternating back and forth when they started to get comfortable with it. So that was a lot of fun, fun to see. And then, Dylan goes, all right, guys, we're going to hit change ups and sinkers today. And so we had the eye pitch cooking up some change ups and sinkers. So there was a lot of swing and misses, a lot of frustration, but I got to hand it to Dylan. I mean, he did a really good job of kind of keeping everybody's head in the right spot and understanding what we were trying to do. So good to see him kind of cooking up some fire environments.
Question for you, sir, and this might be known a little bit on a later date, a little bit of a sales pitch. How many machines do you guys have?
In total, including the mocap lab, we have 3 mini hacks, 2 eye pitches, and 2 kind of the bigger spin ball machines. So we can kind of do whatever we need to.
Sir, this is a possibility of having a youth listening in. You got to quit with the sexting and all this sex talk. You got to chill out a little bit. All right, we're trying to be a family friendly program for fuck's sake, okay?
Yeah, it is very nice, and something I think about a lot. I'm like, man, if I leave Driveline, I don't know that there's another place that's gonna have all this stuff. It's just
No.
not even like a pro team. Like you're just not gonna have like, all right, here's 5 machines and hit tracks in every cage and 17 blast sensors and
How many hit tracks do you guys have?
4. 4 in a mobile unit, so technically 5.
Fuck you guys.
Hey, I mean, it sounds like a lot, but like honestly, when we get going and things get rolling, I'm like, man, I could really use another cage and another machine. I could use another mocap lab and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it seems like a lot until you need more.
Well, I definitely kind of felt that a little bit. So when I came over, we already had one of the bigger spin balls, not the eye pitch. It's up on my wish list, as we talked about a few episodes ago. We had the spin ball, and then I had brought a junior hack over. And for when we used the junior hack a good amount of the time, just Old Faithful. It's my baby, so it's like, all right, this makes sense. Well, I started doing a little bit more with the spin ball where it's, 60 feet, and I crank it up to about 90, and I make guys wear helmets. And this was, back in December and beginning of January. So I wasn't having guys swing off of it. It was more just like track, get good at it, tell me what location it is and stuff like that. Well, I was noticing that it was going. Now, if you read, there's a label on there that says, pitches will vary. Some will be a ball, some will be a strike. I was like, oh, okay, like, makes sense. This thing was going like backside of the right-handed box to backside of the left-handed box. Like, this shit was spraying. And I was like, I don't understand. I haven't played around with spin balls. I've done the home plates, done the hacks. Like, I've never dealt with spin ball. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. So we just put in the back. I'm like, all right, you're staying there. Well, as we're getting closer, I was like, it'd be pretty cool to leave the junior hack in the middle of the cage, work, smash factors, marv balls at a close range, keep it semi-dialed, and then just slide that bad boy over, have the spin ball set up back at home plate, and just go from there. So we set it up again. I was like, all right, we're going to go. We're going to get this going. I'm going to figure out what's wrong with it. Turn it on, and it doesn't turn on. Like, the wheels would go, vroom,
and then that go. And
so we opened up the back, found out that there was some cables that were loose and stuff like that, fixed the cables, turn it back on, and then it's back to spraying left to right. Well, I ended up counting, the little teeth marks or whatever on the spin balls. The top left was off by 1. Now, I'm not the one that put it together. I'm also not pointing fingers. I'm not the one that put it together. But fixed that, and now we're rocking with it. Kind of like the routine of us being in season has been I don't know what your guys' thoughts are on this. I'm kind of liking it a lot. I've been doing kneel down overhand plyos from about 20 feet away. So on both knees, overhand plyos, trying to match that trajectory of like a real pitch, but then also getting them to feel like not just kind of like letting the bat go, but like accelerating and doing that. So we've been going overhand plyos. We move on to foam. We'll do the smash doctors and marv balls from 30 feet with a junior hack, pretty much the sub down the middle. We'll use like a split grip bat that I have, and then we'll use like some paddle bats, all going from like a post stride, just cleaning it up. A lot of the guys don't know it, but I've been having the machine averaging like what would a 90-mile-an-hour reaction time be. They're not realizing it, and so it's been kind of cool seeing, like, I had a freshman in it the other day, struggling a little bit at first, and then started getting around to barreling it. And I'm like, how fast do you think that is, like, reaction time wise? He's like, I don't know, like 70, 75. It's like, good. Like, I slow that thing down as much as possible. And then we're at about 30, 35 minutes into the lesson. We hop back on the spin ball full distance, and then we're just, swinging off of that. So it's been kind of a little adjustment going to end season, working more so, not talking much mechanics, just more so letting guys feel it, letting them see the ball off the bat, different things like that. So moving into season, how have you guys kind of adjusted some of your lessons? What are you guys doing differently? Are you guys kind of like blocking it out like I am right now? Pretty much any athlete that comes in, 8th grade and over, like we're doing the same routine. Are you guys kind of seeing that? Like, how are you guys doing your in-season stuff?
We don't get many in-season guys in person, just because most of our athletes are traveling out here to come train. So we don't get a ton of in-season guys. I think the high school kids, it's mostly just that are in season that are local. It's a lot of just see pitching and see velo more than anything, and make sure that they get their timing down. So we tend to do a little bit more BP, little bit more short box, things like that, just to kind of see an arm for them. But a lot of the in-season training comes from online training for guys, and a lot of that definitely shifts for us. Like I've moved pretty heavily away from like trying to do screen recordings and swing breakdowns for guys, and shifted to a lot more Zooms and FaceTimes, phone calls, things like that. Because I think when we get into season, my value for them comes from talking about approach and really trying to understand what their perspective is on what they're being successful with, what they're not, what they're looking for, how pitchers are pitching them, what the kind of team chemistry looks like, how they're interacting with their coach, and trying to get a really good sense of what their day-to-day life looks like, and worry less about baseball in terms of trying to develop as much. We're really just trying to get guys in the right headspace, making sure that we're looking for good pitches, that they're not upset at their coach for whatever. We're kind of keeping them in the right headspace to be able to actually step in the box, like feel confident, know they have a plan, and then go execute from there. So it definitely shifts to a lot more communication than kind of mechanical adjustments.
I'm not in season right now. Still, there's snow on the ground up here. Like we got 3 weeks till the season starts. So
the great white north,
bro.
We're still getting out here, man.
You can't. No one saw
Buddy,
this when we were off camera. We were off camera, and were we on camera? Off camera when I asked if Amazon was. No, we were on camera. So we can't. Yeah, you can't give me that like. Oh, we have Amazon, Connor. It's Canada, and then me go. Oh, so how are you training your in season guys? We're not going to be in season for another month. You can't have it both ways.
You didn't even know you were on Amazon.
You can. There's snow everywhere. It's fucking -16 up here. It's still cold as shit. We won't.
Well, what's it going to be in a month? -14?
Buddy, here, we don't play a home game till May.
Oh, where do you go? What do you mean a home game? Where do you go?
Dude, we go our first trip. We go down to BC, and then we go down
You
to
don't have to go
BC.
down to
Like,
BC. BC's in Canada.
you know how far north Edmonton is, dude? I'm fucking like we're like 8 hours away from the U.S. border right now. That's how far straight north, 8 hours away from the border. Like I'm fucking up here. Okay, there
Yeah,
is
and guess
snow
what?
everywhere.
And BC is up there too.
The fucking lower part of BC, Vancouver. You ever heard of it? That's where we're gonna go play. All right, because it doesn't really snow there. So we're gonna go down there, and then we're gonna go to Southern Alberta. We just go to play in Southern Alberta for all of April. All right. Jesus Christ.
Man, I barely know my U.S. geography. When you start talking Canadian geography, boy, the only
It's
reason
out.
I know where Vancouver is because it's kind of close to Seattle.
Yeah, it's like 3 hours north of Seattle.
Yeah.
Look,
Just
I know a lot.
quick ferry drive over. Hey,
I know a lot about the States. All right, I live there. You guys need to start fucking educating yourself because Jesus Christ.
Well, okay, all right. Okay, y'all start learning about the 51st state, eh? We'll start really studying the 51st state.
51st state, my fucking ass. You guys are
hey, okay.
dumpster fire of a country. Let's not get into it. But fuck you.
So you got 3 weeks left, Burnsy, right? I mean, you guys into live at bats yet, or are we like just cooking machines?
Yeah, I think this is
too cold outside.
So this next week, friends, shut the fuck up, man. This is our last weekend of bullpens. They're going into Ethan has them doing like pretty much like what you do to warm up for a game, and then actually an inning for kind of four batters pretty much they'll face, no swings or anything. And I think next week we'll do live. So right now it's just shit ton of different machine stuff, a lot of different variables, really challenging them, and then we'll get into live. But yeah, I mean, I think in season stuff too. It definitely depends. Like I think you have a good like map of it, but it definitely depends on the different athlete. And as well too, it's like if the guy's struggling and not playing a lot, it's like, well, we need to keep getting better and challenging ourselves. You know what I mean? It's not good enough to just have these kind of feel good days and feel your swing out. It's like, no, like you're not playing right now. We need to change something. Like let's kind of do that. So I think it definitely depends on the guy, but for the most part, I think what I usually do is like, leading up, let's say pretty much every weekend we play, it's like Tuesday, Wednesday, going to be more challenging stuff, going to be higher velo stuff. And then moving to Thursday, Friday, a lot more just feel good swings, just kind of get that confidence back, rolling into the weekend.
So
you guys have any regulations on like tech stuff? Like, can you guys wear blast sensors in game and things like that?
I don't think we're allowed.
Yeah, because like that's the hard part about it in season 2, like especially if you're not there, like you're doing remote stuff, is like, I don't know, are you hitting good? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like your stat line looks good. Is that are you hitting good? Or are you just getting lucky? Or unless it's like the big D1 guys where they're like, how you were playing at all these stadiums, got TrackMans and stuff, and like they can get some things from their analytics department. But like the D3 dude is not, he's not going to the analytics department to pull some data.
Well, he might be, but the analytics department is also the janitor department. It's also the uniform department. They wear a lot of hats over at the D3. Burns, you had mentioned that you guys in the live ABs, they're not swinging yet. And so my question would be, what's your guys' process with that? Like, are hitters allowed to ask the catcher, what pitch was that? Like, do your pitchers give the sign out in front? Like, how do you guys kind of go about that in your training sense?
No, so we'll be going through, like, the catchers and pitchers will know our kind of sign progressions and stuff, and so no, it won't, they won't be they will not be telling the hitter what they're throwing and stuff, and it's just kind of getting their eyes accustomed back to just fucking tracking the baseball, trying to see spin and stuff. Obviously, I think it's a really valuable tool that I don't know. I feel like back in the day, I thought it was kind of just eyewash, but just actually like getting back to like fucking picking up a dude and reading it out of his hand and be like, hey, yep, that was a curveball. Okay, and also just getting that timing mechanism down in your head, being like, okay, was I on time there? Was I not? That type of thing, right? But yeah, just kind of getting that feel back, because like I said, it's like these guys have gone probably since I think it was mid early October from seeing like a real live pitch, right? So it's been a long time, and they just need to get back to that the kind of a custom of seeing that shit out of the hand.
Yeah, there's definitely some people say I love machine work. I'm never gonna move away from machine work, but just for the velo. But there's definitely a lot to be said to like just picking up the ball out of the hand is a very different timing mechanism.
One of my
100%.
one of my favorite things to do in live ABs is have a hitter go up essentially with a bat that doesn't have a barrel, so it's just straight handle. So that way they can like start that idea of, all right, this is a pitch I would swing at, this is a pitch I wouldn't. Allows catchers to also then kind of get used to that feeling of like that bat working rearward. I mean, if that's what you teach, but just getting that idea of like what that trigger is and stuff like that. One of my other favorite things too is to set out like have different markers in between home plate and the catcher. And so like cones, whatever it is, but you can then try and have like, all right, I want you to try and tell me what this pitch was by this marker, and have the hitter like look back and go, all right, like by when it was at this point, I think it was a fastball. And then you could like ask the catcher, what was that? And that way they can start. The more that we can get that decision point closer to the pitcher and be right versus like having the ball get close and in on you and then having to make that decision. That's one of my favorite things. And then also, I'm a big fan of having the hitter tell the catcher what pitch he thinks that was. Even if you don't have the cones out and stuff. So you throw a pitch, and I'm not gonna lie, I may have hurt some feelings when we were doing this with our 8th grade team. I definitely was wrong a lot of the time. I thought a lot of shit was off speed. Turns out it wasn't. Kind of demoralizing to the pitcher. Sorry about that for anybody listening. The amount of times I've gone change up and it was a fastball happened quite a bit. I'm sorry, but that way you're starting to get that hitter to start to understand like decision points, and if decision point is kind of like the point of no return when you're learning how to drive, like you're coming up on that intersection. The closer we can have that, decision time, the sooner that we can have that, the better. But yeah, I'm a big fan of live ABs with no swings and stuff like that, just so you can get those hitters back into it.
Hey, I've been on that end for sure. Just, is that a changeup? No, that's my fucking fastball. Yeah, I throw slow. I know. Thank you very much.
I've got, I don't know, I finally hit my breaking point with some kids asking if they can see one. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet of my pet peeve. Dude, it's fucking killing me. And like I heard I finally have gotten most of the hitters that train with me. They've learned like don't ask, because it's like, hey, well, fucking sucks to suck. Now you got a strike on you. I heard we were doing live ABs. We weren't, but a team was in here doing live ABs, and a kid asked the pitcher if he could see one.
I think we call that no feel. I was gonna say low feel, but that's not low feel. That's no feel.
You want to know the best part? No one batted an eye. The pitcher got up on the mound and threw one. I was just like, what are we doing right now?
Did you not just live at bats then?
Why'd you just take 10 warm-up pitches? And hitter, where the fuck are you? Are you just not paying attention?
Also, I assume they're doing live at bats with their own team, so it's not like it's a pitcher that they've never seen before.
Their own team. It was a freshman. And I think it was like a junior in the box.
Oh my! I'd be like, "Fuck you!" What do you mean? No, you can't see one. I'm trying to get you out. What the fuck? Unbelievable.
That's why it's good to have a pitcher here to really give that perspective.
I would have been like, no. Like, what do you mean?
I
Or I would have just like would have just lobbed one in there and just said, "Yeah,
Sandbag
that's
it.
Jesus.
Yeah, or just thrown one behind him. Just been like, there you go.
Time this, bitch. No, like I
Yeah.
was like walking around and all of a sudden I just hear, hey, can I see one? I just like stopped and turned around. I was like, you're so lucky you're not one of my guys. I would fucking lose it. Like, what are we
Hey,
talking about?
What would have happened if, at Garden, you would have been like, hey, can I see one?
You were
They
kicked
prob-
off the team.
I was gonna say you're probably getting kicked
Get off
out.
the team.
It would have been like, get out of here. No.
You would have
I'll
been
sign-
verbally accosted the whole team and then fucking sent home.
Finney would have had the fucking release paperwork like already pulled up on his phone. Like, here, just sign that line right there.
Get out of here. Oh, that's tough.
Mind-boggling. So, like, I don't know. Are you guys running into any pet peeves or anything like that? Kind of like that?
My biggest pet peeve is like they put the blast sensors on the charger. Like, I don't understand. So we have a box. Like, you know those computer boxes that you used to get in school and they'd wheel the laptops in those little box, right? So we got one of those things. And it's got all the blast chargers on top and all the iPads in the case. And people will take the iPad in the blast charger. They'll put the blast on top of the iPad and then set the iPad and the blast on the case. I'm just like, you're so close. You at least were smart enough to know I have to bring it back here. You're so close. Just finish it. Just plug the iPad in and put it on a charger. It's not that hard. You're right there. You're right there. It's the same thing with like, we got bat racks on the wall and people will just take their bats and put them on the wall, like leaning up against the wall next to the bat rack. I'm like, you're so close. You're so close. Just finish it.
Dude, I hear you.
Nuts.
I'm so...
Just like you're already there. You're right there. Just do it.
Just do
it.
I've gone through and I've literally labeled every section of where bats go. Like, I have a youth game bat section, a drop 3 section, a training bat section, a youth training bat section, a high school training bat session. Like, all of them are labeled and in different areas. The amount of times that people fuck this up by literally just laying up against walls, and I'm like, there's 20 open spots right now. Like, you can literally pick so many places, and yet you pick the wrong one. To a point where I have it on my wish board. I'm thinking, and I don't know, I'm thinking about getting different bat grips to color coordinate where they go, but I stop because I've already done the color coordination system with the balls that we use, and those get fucked up every time. So I'm just like, I think you guys are just stupid.
Yeah, that kind of stuff drives me nuts.
Kids, man. That's like, right. So right now, this is a new pet peeve, but like before, just because we're going to all the different facilities and shit, I just had kind of a mishmash buckets of balls, and then at the facility we kind of had a garbage bin of all the balls, and then we had like our machine and smash factor, whatever. Literally I went through, just dumped all the baseballs out, right? And I got a T bucket, and it's just the shitty balls, and then I got like 2 T and front toss buckets, like shitty, but like not too shitty, but not good enough for the machine. Then I've got 2 junior hack and BP balls, right? Little good, better quality balls. And then I've got 2 machine buckets, and I've got 2 defense buckets as well. And we got a throwing bucket. So we've got, and I went through, took me like hour-ish, sort through all these balls, label all the buckets good. And I bring every group I had. I was like, guys, these are all labeled for specific events. Don't use the other ones. Don't fucking mix them. They're getting mixed, man. I walk in, or I was in my office walking. I just see someone doing T work with the fucking defense balls. Like, what the fuck are you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? I was like, what does that bucket say? Defense. I was like,
doesn't fucking matter, bro.
What the fuck are you doing? He's like, I don't know. I thought it was okay. I was like, they're all labeled, man. They tell you. It's gonna drive me insane. I already know. It's already driving me fucking insane.
To help you. Trying to help you.
JP already knows where I'm at with that. He already knows. I almost had to fucking fire a trainer for that. Because the trainer couldn't fucking figure it out.
Brutal. Yeah.
It's painful.
It's super easy. That's a thing. It's super easy. Just hey, that bucket's for that. Use it.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, now that all of us are kind of fired up, are you guys ready for a little digesting the beef?
Ready for some beef.
Beef.
Mm-hmm.
So what's for dinner? Alrighty. So, ran into another podcast that I was just scrolling through, and this specific podcast, and we'll pull it up here in a sec. I've actually reposted some of their clips in the past, so I like a lot of the time what they have to say. This specific clip, I had a suggestion or like a reaction to it, and they didn't take it at all how I feel like anybody else would have taken it. It was very defensive in the sense of trying to reverse it onto me. So I don't know. I want you guys to kind of hear it. I think this might be the first time you guys have heard it. And I'll go through the comments and say what we've got.
Young players, softball, baseball, it don't matter. Learn to drive the ball the other way.
Yes, man.
For the love of God, learn to drive the ball the other way.
Yes.
If you want to be a great hitter, take the inside pitch and hit the other way.
Man, inside out, baby.
Hard. Learn to hit the home run from that pitch.
If you want to stand out, if you want to be impressive, drive the ball the other way, hit line drives the opposite way in the cage, and stop pulling off. For real.
17 years old, Rangers said, hey, come do a showcase. I go out there, I'm 17. I'm launching balls in the upper deck, pull side. Every scout's like, all right.
That's
Just-
cool.
and all
Right.
all the other guys are like, they're like the kids around me, like, dude, this guy's just launching balls.
Right.
So finally the head scout goes, hey, Corey, do me a favor, stop hitting for a second. He goes, can you hit a ball to left field? I go, huh? He goes, can you hit a ball to left field? I go, yeah. Now, luckily, fortunately, I used to watch Fred McGriff, so I used to hit everything to left field anyway. I just started launching balls left. All of a sudden, all the scouts are like, holy crap.
Right,
Because
right.
nobody wants to watch you guys pull balls, man.
Young players, softball, baseball, it don't matter.
All right. So, with that being said, let me. There we go. With that being said, I put in the comments, good God, don't go fisting inside pitches the other way. Yes, learn to drive the ball oppo, but don't go insiding everything. Pull side in the air is important to be able to do on inside pitches. You guys' initial thoughts?
I agree. Yeah, I agree with what you said. Like, you got to be able to do both. I also think it's like, well, yeah, the scout told me the scouts love to see you guys hit the ball the other way. It's like, yeah, but you also were launching balls to the second deck. Like, not many people can do that in the first place. Like that, the bar is there. Not many people get over that. But if you're a guy that can launch balls to the second deck, then yeah, you got to know how to hit it the other way.
Yeah. 100%. I agree with everything you said, Reynolds.
So the response that I got, and you guys let me know if you would respond any differently. They responded and said, kind of strange that comment coming from a hitting coach. You obviously don't understand what Corey was trying to say. Then to come on with, good God, don't go fisting balls. At no point did he say that. He said to learn the drive, the inside pitch the other way, and was referring to batting practice and a mindset so young hitters don't hook and roll over. Having the ability to pull in the air is a must obvious in games, but not the mindset to take into batting practice or games for 99% of the hitting population. Initial thoughts?
I don't find anything wrong with what he said, but they also, when they were talking in the clip, they make it sound like you want to hit the inside pitch the other way, is what they were saying. In the clip, they didn't say, hey, when you are in batting practice, blah, 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 you should work on that. Because for me, like one of our, like the first drill I always have the guys do off the tee is like, we call the Manny Ramirez drills. Like you set the tee up inside, just nice, easy swings. You're trying to hit it the other way. Just work on keeping your hands in tight turn. Right. So like nothing wrong with what we said, but also like in the video, that's not what that's not what it made it sound like they were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The vast, it's just, dude, I can't stand the generalizations. Like 99% of people need to do this. Like, no, they don't.
Yeah.
No, they don't. Like, there's a normal distribution for a reason. Like, there are normal distributions for a reason. Like, that's just dumb. Like, why generalize everything? Like, some people need to try and pull the ball. Like, some people are really good at keeping their hands inside. They need to try and pull the ball. Some guys are terrible at keeping their hands inside, and they should never try and pull the ball. But that's what always gets me. Just stop generalizing stuff. We can talk about actual hitting things, but like, I'm not gonna do this. Like, everybody needs to do this. Everybody needs to do that. It's like, no, they don't. No, they don't. At maximum, 60% of people need to do something. Maximum.
And with that point, I fucking drove the ball the other way my high school career. Could pull baseball.
Same.
What was I in college? What did I do in college? I fucking pitched. So
I don't know if we'd call what you did driving the ball the other way.
Oh, buddy, come on, JP, man. What is going on this podcast? You guys are just
Wow, because I was like, man, I did not pull the ball at all when I was playing. Like, very rarely, like, I could get to left center gap, and that's about as far as I could pull it. But I don't know if I drove a baseball anywhere.
I fucking drove it the other way. Okay, I can promise.
So this was my response video.
You want to be
Let me pull this up.
a great hitter, take the inside pitch and hit the other way. Man, inside out, baby.
Yes, I obviously didn't know what you guys were referring to. I think, like a lot of others, to always inside out, inside pitches, it's not a great mindset. Now in batting practice, if that's something that you're trying to focus on, and if you're working on that because you roll over or hook too many, that's one thing. But to just blanketly say always inside out, inside pitches without context, not great.
You want to be a great hitter.
So that was my response. And this is what they came back with. They said, well, if we are nitpicking, I didn't say that. Learn to drive the ball the other way, plain and simple. If you can learn to do that, then you become a better hitter. Corey played more years of pro ball than you probably have even coached. I don't know that for a fact, just an educated guess. And he was a big power guy. So coming from him and his experience, learning how to do this is a crucial for success. None of us said inside out everything either. As a hitting coach, I would hope you could have deciphered that. Let's get together sometime and chop it up.
Get him on the pod. Get him on the pod, dude. We got to get him out here. I love, oh my God. Of course. That's the first argument that's whipped out is like, well, like this dude was a good hitter. It's like, who gives a shit? Like, are you kidding me? Like, we're talking, that drives me nuts. Like, who cares? Who cares? I don't care how many years this dude played in the big leagues. Like, that doesn't mean he's automatically knows what the fuck he's talking about.
So my response to that, and this is where we'll leave the back and forths. I said, I'll come on your podcast or you come on mine. Main topics. I don't care how long you played for. If you're supposed to hit the inside pitch oppo, I'm assuming then you would also want to hit the middle pitch oppo and then the outside pitch oppo. So to say anyone just watching your podcast, it would seem that you want to inside out everything and cut out the as a hitting coach. Adding context in the comments section doesn't help anyone who is not looking in the comments to understand what the video is trying to say.
I mean, once again, they're not wrong. It's just like
exactly.
This is what always happens. Like, people say things that are not wrong, and then just go like, you just gotta believe me, or like, no, I wasn't speaking generally. It was like, you literally said 99% of people. What do you mean? Like, what are we talking about? Like, you're not wrong. Just like throw some context behind it. Like, put a little bit more background information to actually make it usable information.
And the other piece of it is like, I understand, like social media. I get shit's clickbaity. You got 90 seconds. I've been putting some clips together myself. I get it. But to have the response in the comments of like, well, he probably played more than you've coached. Like, all right, calm down there, killer. To say like, oh, I didn't say this. Yes, you fucking did. Like, yes, you did. So like, don't. And also the chastising of like, as a hitting coach, shut the fuck up. Like, yes, we're both hitting coaches. No, it's not obvious what you guys were trying to get across because you didn't get it across. Like I'm trying to tell you, it did not come across. So instead of getting mad at me for the person that is stating the obvious, I don't know, maybe look at your clip and go, yeah, I don't know, that was kind of clickbaity, huh?
Yeah. Or just be like, yeah, dude, like, you're right. Like, that's not really what we meant.
It's not
Cool.
that hard.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, sick.
But now we go to the as a hitting coach, I would assume. Like, shut up, dude. I don't know that for me, and that literally happened today. So perfect timing for the potty. Got me fired up just in time. But
Yeah.
I don't know. What are your guys' like closing thoughts on that? Anything more to add?
We got yeah.
Don't be an asshole on the internet.
It's good advice for the kids out there.
No, I agree, and I don't know. It'd be cool to have them on. It'd be cool to have the whole group on. Like maybe we have a potty and potty. Chill out, blast motion. Yeah, I don't know. That was kind of like the capper of the day. So I don't know.
Well, and I'm sure they're fucking. I'm sure they're all good hitting coaches in their own right. Like,
yes,
you know, like I said, that didn't sound like that wasn't a video where I was like, wow, they sound like no, they know what the fuck they're talking about, but just like relax.
Yeah, it's not.
Just chill the hell out.
It's TikTok, dude. It's not that serious.
Like if you can, if I'm a scout and I see this kid, launching 10 balls pull side, second deck, I'm going to ask, do you have the ability to go oppo? Now, to the kid, like you said earlier, JP, for the kid that hasn't pulled a single ball the entire time and has only hit oppo, what am I going to ask? Can you pull the ball? Like,
pull the ball.
Hitting is like a puzzle. You have to have every single piece put together to make a full image. If you only have half of the tools, if you only have half of the puzzle pieces, you can't see what the image is unless you cheat and look at the picture on the front of the box. But like you have to be a complete hitter for it to make sense for a big league club to, draft you. But I don't know, just to say like learn to hit the inside pitch the other way, I don't know. In my opinion, if you can only hit the inside pitch the other way, you're not a very good hitter. And if you can only hit the outside pitch pull side, you're not a very good hitter. Like you have to be able to do both, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Once again, hitting's complicated. There's just not this is how you do things to be good. It's just never going to be the case.
What do you think they would tell Joey Gallo?
I probably think Joey Gallo's not very good.
Did you guys see he's batting .417 the other day?
He looks good, dude. He looks like he's actually like kind of has some deceleration patterns. His attack angles, under 30.
Deceleration.
I know. Big word. Yeah. I should have said sequencing. That would have been better. Yeah, I should have said sequencing.
We don't do any of that 108 stuff around here. What are you talking about? There's only one way to hit.
I've never said that before.
There's only one way to hit. No deceleration. No, I actually saw that a Yankee account tweeted it out and was like, hey, if we need a midseason pickup. That's funny.
That's good.
What are you guys' thoughts on? Did you guys see the picture comparing the World Baseball Classic base and the MLB base?
I did not.
No, I mean,
is the World Baseball Classic base smaller, or is it like normal size and the MLB one's bigger?
Boys,
I'm assuming that's what it is.
You guys keep.
I'm excited for the bigger. I'm excited for the bigger bases. I think stolen bases are going to be huge, especially with the pitch clock being crazy. Like stolen bases are going to be awesome.
They need to. Stolen bases are just exciting. They need to bring, that's been one of the biggest things in the last 10, 20 years that's been lost about like just base stealers. Just like there's not any of them. It's boring when your top base stealer is like 45 and the rest of the league's around like 30 and 20.
Yeah.
Like that's just, I don't know. Stealing bases is fucking fun. It's exciting.
Yeah. And
it also just gives the catchers a little bit more shit to do too.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it brings some of that small ball aspect back to it, where it's like, okay, if we can steal this guy, like, because if you can steal second with nobody out, like the bunt makes a lot more sense to get him to third with one out. Like, I think it just makes it a little bit more dynamic instead of just, all right, hopefully we hit a home run here.
Well, yeah, it's like the gamesmanship of baseball has kind of just been lost the last little bit because it's literally just like, which I'm not saying is bad, but it's just people who are really smart have been like, okay, well, we just need to sell out for doubles and home runs, and stealing bases is actually just more detrimental. And it's like, okay, and like that makes sense, but it kind of just sucks. It's not fun.
Yeah, and I think I think the constant back and forth between like optimization of outcomes and adjusting the rules of the game to make it entertaining, like is just a back and forth that I think baseball needs more of, and probably needs to find ways to make targeted adjustments a little bit faster. But yeah, I don't mind watching a bunch of dudes just try to hit home runs and doubles. Like that's kind of fun to me, but I also understand to somebody that doesn't do baseball for a living, that's super boring.
Yeah, like I think the like we just love baseball. Like I don't mind watching a 3-2 baseball game with a shit ton of strikeouts and like 5 home runs. Like I don't. That's still good to me, but definitely to the general fan or someone trying to get into it, there's something definitely. Someone had to change. They had to change something up because you're not getting a lot of new fans involved, which sucks.
Maybe
Also,
we should make it to where anyone could watch the game, no matter where they lived.
That would help.
Probably would help.
That's a whole nother pot.
No,
that's a whole nother.
Let's make the bases weird, dude.
Bro, I'm trying to find this.
It is JP. What do you think of the pitch clock? What is your initial reaction to it?
My initial reaction was like, this is just gonna blow walks up through the roof. I was like, it's gonna throw timing off. Like, guys are gonna have to rush. Like, I think it was Kirk Schilling was like, yeah, guys are gonna have the tendency to turn into throwers and not like pitchers, which sounds super old school, but like that was kind of my worry. Was like, dude's command would just go through the floor. But the more I've watched it, I'm like, oh, hitters are screwed.
Yes, exactly, man. Hitters are getting fucking screwed right now.
Yeah,
like you talk about like a between strike routine, man. You can't like. I think more often than not, unless you're like, man, this is an absolute stereotype, but unless you're like a late inning reliever, I feel like a lot of pitchers like to work a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
I feel like there's just a lot of more late inning relievers who just throw cheese, just take 400 seconds between each pitch. But no, man, the hitters are the ones that are getting screwed over. Yeah. Like as a starter, like fucking give me the ball 6 seconds. Yeah, good to go. Especially too with the pitchers having their own pitch comm now. Like I think the hitters are getting screwed. Oh no,
there's no way that's real.
There's no way that's a real fucking thing, man.
That's a real picture.
That's a Photoshop picture, man.
It's from Codify.
Yeah, the bases are not that big. There's
not no way. I know you're trolled right now, man. There's no way that's
100% a troll. The bases are not that big.
No way. There's no way that's
door.
I absolutely refuse to believe that's real. Like you could fit 17 bases in that one base. Like that's not a real. That's not how big they make.
Go from 90 feet to 45.
Yeah, they're fucking giants playing. Like the hell is going on?
They are one team in the league.
Whoa.
No, I heard you guys talking about the pitch clock. I saw Tewksbury put out what I think could be a kind of interesting thought. Is you could make it to where what was it? Hitter, no matter what, at 8 seconds, pitchers can throw the ball. Like once the pitch clock gets down to 8 seconds, pitchers can just throw it. But hitters don't have to be looking. I don't know if you guys saw, who was it? Left-handed batter was in the box at like the 8-second mark and was just like kind of getting set up a little bit and then got called for a strike on him because he wasn't looking at the pitcher. And the amount of times I've seen the hitter get called for a strike because the pitcher's not on the mound, and so the hitter's kind of just, there, but he's not like ready to go, and the timer gets down to 8 seconds, it's like, boom, that's a strike on the batter. It's like the pitcher's not even on the mound. Like the hitters have to react to the pitcher. So if the pitcher's not ready, why does the hitter have to be ready?
You should still be able to have, like, if there's like 10 seconds left, the hitter should still be able to like get in the box and like fucking okay, I'm good to go here, right? I also think too they got to put away in like hitters gotta or be able to have like one fucking timeout and at bat or something where they can just like extra like 10 seconds just to like gather or something.
I think they do,
but
get
also
one timeout.
They get one. Okay, that's.
But that happened. It happened when Scherzer was pitching. The hitter had already called his one timeout, and then he was like, "Yeah." And Scherzer's just like,
because it's harder to like try and hit, and just like get ready to go, like you're hitting off the machine, and just like, okay, next one. Like it's so much harder in the game, and I think hitting is just so much more of like mental block. Like if you're not mentally prepared to face Max Scherzer, you're not gonna hit Max Scherzer.
It's just
not gonna happen. Yeah,
they don't hit him when they are ready.
exactly.
I think Matt Reynolds. Could you imagine too? Right now, it's like it's in college baseball, but there ain't no fucking clock up there to look at. Like it's on the. Could you imagine being a hitter right now? Like
didn't they start doing that in the World Series last year? College World Series?
It's been a rule for a couple of years, I think. And
I remember watching that, and it was fucking horseshit. Because like half the time they would do it, half the time they wouldn't. I don't know. I've in my opinion, if you're looking to grow the game, grow it by allowing people to fucking watch it there, Rob. Like, crazy idea. People, no matter how long the game takes, if they don't have access to the game, it doesn't fucking matter. So I don't know. Remove the blackouts. Crazy idea. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like that should be step one of getting more people to watch baseball, is allow them to watch the actual fucking game, rather than trying to increase the time of the game for those who can watch it. Like not everybody can watch the game. So if you're trying to increase viewership and people watching, I don't know, allow them to actually watch the game. My thought. What do we know?
Makes sense.
Well, shoot. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for joining. This is episode 52 of Hit Chat Chit Chat. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to the group for coming on board. And any closing remarks, gentlemen?
Follow us on socials.
Facts. On the screen.
Dude.
On the screen. Outside of that, you guys have a great rest of your night.